Hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Fun and Practical Linux series, where we learn creative and real-world application of Linux commands. And today we'll discuss two ways to use mkdir command, which will change the way you use it. So first of all, let us learn some basics around mkdir command and why do we use it. So mkdir is used to create directories on Linux. So let's say you want to, first of all, let's see what do we have. So we'll use, let's say we use the ls command. So if you see, we don't have anything right now, or we can even use the tree command. Tree command is used to see the whole directory structure of current working directory in a hierarchical fashion. So we don't have any directories. So let's create one. So mkdir and then directory name. So now if you see, if I do tree, it will show me that d1 is created. Okay. Now, if I want to create multiple directories also, I can do something like d2, d3, d4, and d5. Let's verify. Yes, we have d1, d2, d3, d4, d5. One thing that you should notice that since we already have this, all this d1, d2, so if you want to create the already existing directory using mkdir, by default, if you don't specify any flag, it will throw an error. It will say that mkdir cannot create a directory d1. Okay, so yeah, this is something which you need to keep in mind. Okay, now let's look at the, we are going to look at the first tip. So let's say if I want to create another directory like d6, d7, and d8. So I want to create d6. Inside of d6, I want to create d7. Inside of d7, I want to create d8. So can I write something like this? Let's see. So as you can see, it says that cannot create directory d6, d7, d8. No such file or directory. So how mkdir by default works is that if you are giving it a path to create, first it will check that this d6 is created. If it is not created, it will throw an error. If it is created, it will go to d7. See if d7 is created. If d7 is not created, it will throw an error, and it will, else if it is created, it will move to d8. If d8 is uh, not created, it will create it. Okay, so this is how mkdir by default works. So let's create these directories. So we'll do mkdir d6, and now we'll do mkdir d6 slash d7, and then we'll do mkdir d6, d7, and d8. But as you can see that this is a very long way to do it. Instead, what we can do it now, let's say we have to create d10, d11, and d12. So instead of doing the above three lines, we can, okay, let's first clear the screen. And so let's say if we have to write d10, d11, and d12, if we have to create something like this, we can do mkdir minus p and d10, d11, d12. Okay, now let's verify. Now if you see that we had used this command mkdir minus p d10, d11, d12, and d10 is created, inside of which d11 is there, inside of which d12 is there. So now one another thing that you need to keep this in mind is that unlike the default mkdir command, this will not produce an error if it sees a directory which is already created. So if I run this command again, it will not throw an error. But if you run the mkdir command, it will throw an error because this d12 already exists. So this was the end of the first tip. Now let's clean this whole directory and then we can move to the second tip. Okay, so as you can see now we are completely clean. Now let's move to the second one. So let us say if I have to create a directory structure like src, inside of which I have to create bin, and then src inside of which I have to create lib, src inside of which I have to create a readme.md, and then src inside of which I have to tests. So if I have to create a directory structure like this, so I have to write all of this, right? mkdir src slash bin slash lib slash readme slash tests, and this keeps on increasing. Let's say we even have a logs directory. We can do this, no problem in this. Let's try this. So as you can see, we created src slash bin lib, which is inside lib logs readme tests, and yeah. So there is a better way, much better way to do this. So what we could have done is mkdir minus p src1, and then we could have written bin comma lib comma logs comma readme.md comma tests. So this is not a feature which is specific to mkdir. This is something which is related to shell expansion in, not shell expansion, brace expansion in Linux. It is a shell feature. So what this will do is, like, this is equivalent to writing mkdir minus p src1 and the whole bin lib logs readme separately. It's equivalent. Okay, now let's run this, and now let's verify. Yeah, now if you verify that we have src1 inside of which you have bin lib logs readme and tests. So this is a much better way, much cleaner, because here if you misspell the name, let's say instead of src, if you would have written src2, another directory would have been created. And I personally prefer this because of it being more clean. Okay, another use case for this base expansion is that let me first clean this again and check. Yeah, we don't have anything. So another place where I use it very often is, let's say that if I have to create a January, like a month directory, and inside which I have to create the directories which are related to all the dates. So I can do something like this: mkdir jan slash day 1 dot dot 31. So what this will do is that this will expand to mkdir jan slash day 1 jan slash day 2 and so on till like jan slash day 31. So both these two codes are equivalent. This dot dot basically means that run run a loop from 1 till 31. Okay, now let's run this and verify. Okay, the tree command will be a bit long. So instead, let's just check the ls command itself, ls jan. So yeah, you can see that we have like 31 files, 31 folders inside the January, each representing the dates. So yes, these were the two tips regarding mkdir commands. So let's meet in the next video and explore more. Bye bye.